Alright, this is something I've been wanting to do for a while, but I want to talk about some of the Rush Duel exclusive support that are basically for TCG archetypes that I want to actually see kind of printed to the TCG in its own way. It doesn't have to be the same thing as the Rush Duel ones because Rush Duel is its own format. And yes, it is my personal list and opinion, and it's just what I want to see, so let's begin. On the top 5 support cards I just want to see. And on number 5 on my list, it's Heroes, just because Heroes just has a lot of support, so it's not like it really needs more support, and I'm only talking about elemental heroes mainly, but some of the stuff they came up with in Rush Duels is pretty cool, mainly with the alternate form of the Neos fusions, along with the alternate form Flamewing Man. Now the alternate form Flamewing Man kind of makes sense, and I actually would like to see that overall in the TCG format because the idea of Avian and Prestinisher fusing together into different forms of itself is actually pretty cool, and we already got 3 different forms of them fusing together, so I think it would be a cool idea if we get a 4th one. But also the Neos fusions would also be pretty cool as a retrain to the originals because the originals kind of suck just for going back to the extra deck at the end of the turn without the Neo space. So just having these as retrains in the TCG would be nice. And then number 4, it's Dark Sword Magician and Obsidian Magician Soldier, both relating to Dark Magician, and it would just be kind of a waste for the cool design to not be put in the TCG. Sure, their effects relate to the number of spell cards in the graveyard, which could actually make a new Dark Magician playstyle, although it doesn't need to be that way, and of course it will need few tweaks like usual, but it would just been a waste of a cool design, and I think it would have been nice if they actually put these at the TCG as well with their own thing. And besides, the idea of Dark Magician changing different forms like into warrior like what they did with Dark Magician Knight, or just fusing with other monsters to become something else with his magic would just be awesome. And then number 3, we got the Rush Duel Red Eyes Dragon fusions, or simply the Meteor Black Dragon series. Red Eyes has been asking for support for a very long time, but for some reason they support Red Eyes in Rush Duels but not in the actual TCGs. Yes, these Red Eyes monsters just do more burn, but it would be cool if they actually make these in the TCG with some few tweaks of course for the Red Eyes deck. Also, since Red Eyes is partially a fusion deck, it also would have been nice to add these in their arsenal, especially on the fact that they also play it with the Summon Skull section, in which we got a retrain of Summon Skull for the Red Eyes deck, which we could actually make use of. And soon we will get a multi-head Red Eyes Black Dragon. You know, the Red Eyes Ultimate Dragon that people have been fan servicing about but never got. And then number 2, it's the Blue Eyes Blazing Bright Dragon. Just basically another Blue Eyes fusion that is level 10. Basically just does more destruction and Rush Duel, so of course it's going to need its tweaks in the actual TCG if they actually do it. But it's a cool design, and it's another Blue Eyes monster that could basically be easily summoned like Twin Burst Dragon. In a way, it's another form of Twin Burst Dragon without the 2 heads. Basically a Blue Eyes along with a level 8 Light Dragon monster, which there's going to be plenty, so in a way you can also combine it with some other archetypes. And I think it would have been cool to have another level 10 fusion Blue Eyes in basically a Blue Eyes deck for a deck that mainly has level 12 fusions and 1 level 8, along with just 1 level 10, and it would be nice to have a second level 10. And now for honorable mention, it's Ancient Gear Gajilatron Bina. Has the typical Ancient Gear effect and also supports gadgets, and the more gadgets you have, the stronger it gets. Technically something that could be imported to the TCG, but I would say need a few tweaks to make it even better, but it would be nice if they actually make this into the TCG card for mainly the gadget Ancient Gear deck. In fact, I could expand the archetype a bit. And finally number 1, it's the Cyber Dragon fusions, the Tactical Dragon and the Rush Dragon. Now Rush Dragon itself would be OP in the TCG considering it lets you draw 5 and discard 4, while Tactical Dragon is actually going to be just brutal. But overall, for a fusion based deck that has basically a lot of resources that lets you just do Cyber Dragon fusion and add more heads to it, I think it would just be more cool to just basically put more fusions on the list that can do other things than just brutal beatdown. And also, it's been a while since we have an actual Cyber Dragon fusion, even though we did get some quote-unquote recent support that isn't a Cyber Dragon but does help the deck, so it'd just be nice to have some more actual Cyber Dragon fusions. So that's it for my list of the Rush Duel cards I want to see in the TCG. What do you guys think of it? What cards would you like to see? Because who knows, I might have missed some, and I do kind of like Rush Duel. At the same time, I don't play it of course because it's a Japanese only thing right now, but there are some cool Rush Duel concepts like the legend cards, especially turning them into a full-on archetype archetype, and using TCG archetypes putting into Rush Duels. And the thing about Rush Duels is that they have exclusive archetype cards from the TCG and put only Rush Duel exclusive. So I would have loved to see those in part of the TCG as well. But the question is, do you guys think those cards should be just Rush Duel exclusive? Honestly, I don't think it really matters just because it's just a name, but in a way it does give Rush Duel its own identity. And some of the cards from Rush Duel exclusive is actually based on the TCG ones, so that's also a thing as well. But in that's it for this, and see you next time.